in this lesson, we're learning about the HTTPS protocol for creative business owners. So that way you can be safe as you manage your business and also make it safe for customers to buy. Hi, I'm Angel from RT Course Experts, and we help creative online course teachers with their tech. In this lesson, we're going to go over HTTPS for creative business owners. We're going to go over what is it, why use it, how to use it, and then we're going to go into an example and we'll recap. First of all, HTTPS. That is a protocol, a way that two computers talk. It's almost like a language, how two computers talk. For example, your web browser is trying to talk to a web server. So they speak in a language and they understand each other. Hey, I would like the HTML for your page. Okay, here it is. And so they have a language with verbs and nouns, and it just works out. So HTTPS is a secure way to access information on the web and for your customers to buy from you. Underneath, there is a first version of it called HTTP, and that is not secure. When you use HTTP to fetch something from the web, you type your username, whatever you're typing is sent over the wire, and anybody that has access to your router or Wi-Fi can see everything that you type to the server and whatever comes back from the server. So that's HTTP. But HTTPS, and S is for secure, encrypts everything. So that's what we're going to get into today. Why use it? Well, unfortunately, the world's getting worse. And whenever you're using Wi-Fi or you're at a cafe or at an airport, somebody in the middle could be potentially logging all your input and all the output. So when you use HTTPS and it's secure, your clients and you know that that tunnel is created between you and the server, and nobody else can see what's on all the messages back and forth. So HTTPS will secure everything, all messages. If you don't use HTTPS, whenever you're accessing your website, your bank, your media server, your courses, your community, all your information is exposed in the data transmission. It's like looking at a bridge, and as the cars move over, you're seeing all the passwords and all the usernames and all the emails of your customers. And when your customers are accessing your coaching services or your courses or your community and they're buying from you, all their credit card information is visible, just like on a bridge. If you were watching, all the transactions go through and come back, and you're seeing the courses and all the digital products that they bought. It's all widely available if somebody smart enough were able to intercept all that information. So let's go over how to use HTTPS for your business, not only as the business owner, but also thinking about how your customers could benefit from HTTPS for all the different services that you offer. First of all, HTTPS is a secure communication protocol. A protocol is an arrangement, a set of rules on how things interact. So it's a secure communication protocol. So it knows that if you're requesting, you're going to encrypt something, you're going to send it, and then whenever you get something back, you're going to decrypt it. You're going to hear about SSL, which is Secure Sockets Layer, even though there's a newer encryption algorithm called TLS. So HTTPS is the protocol, almost like the language, the way two computers are talking, and SSL is, think of it as the encryption algorithm. It's add these numbers, you're going to divide, you're going to subtract, you're going to move around the bits in this format. That's what SSL is, or TLS. So that's the encryption underneath, that's the math formula, okay? And HTTPS is the language or the arrangement on how two computers talk. Underneath, to make all this work, you have a certificate file. When you have a domain, like for example, GoDaddy gives you yourcompany.com, and at that domain, you can install a certificate. And once that certificate is there, it's really a file, and that certificate file has a bunch of numbers in it. It's like random, and that's going to be your unique certificate that is used for all the encryption and decryption. So that certificate file is connected to your website property. Remember, the HTTPS protocol is essential for you as the business owner to protect your money, your intellectual property, all your content, but it's also great for your customers too. As your customers are making transactions, as they're uploading their personal information and receiving assets, all of that is secure. They want to make sure that when they're providing their credit card information or they're providing their questions to a coach, that all of that is confidential. So HTTPS is going to help with all of that. So over the years, we've all been trained to look for the little lock icon on your web browser, and that signals to customers that this transaction is safe. And when you see that lock icon, and if you look to the left of the web address, you'll notice that the address starts with HTTPS instead of HTTP. And that's how we've all been trained. Look for the lock icon, you'll see the certificate. If there's any issues and maybe the certificate's expired or whatever, you might see the URL in red, you might see that there's no lock icon, and maybe the HTTPS has a strike through it. Now, it's also important to know that Google is now ranking higher websites that use HTTPS. It's sort of like preferred, and they get a bonus. So if there's two websites, they both provide courses on how to play a musical instrument, and they're similar, but one is HTTPS and maybe also works really well on mobile. Those two little advantages are going to make one website be ranked higher than another website. So yes, so Google made it official that security is important. So your services, whether it's your website or your community or your courses, when you're using HTTPS, you're potentially going to rank higher than other services that are out there. Now, as you're building your different services, you're really just build one website, one course system, one community. But remember, the HTTP and HTTPS, that's a protocol. That's how you access the content. But you're going to build one content. You don't have to build two pieces of content, one for secure, one for not secure. You're basically building one piece of content, and then the browsers or the mobile phones or the tablets or the computers, they're going to access your content using HTTP or HTTPS. And as an administrator, or you can get your tech person to help you, whenever a customer or a prospect accesses your website using the non-encrypted HTTP, you can say, hey, I'm going to redirect them to the secure, just because. Maybe my user doesn't know, maybe they clicked on some link that was out there in social media, they got to my website, that's awesome, but for some reason they're on the HTTP version. So as a tech administrator, you can configure your properties to redirect and say, oh, thank you, welcome to our website, but by the way, I'm going to redirect you to the HTTPS version. It's just more secure. So this way, when the time comes to do a transaction, it's already secure. When the time comes for them to log in and access their content, it's already secure as well. Remember, all of this works because you have a certificate file registered for your website. Your website has a certificate, and that certificate is used to do all the math of the encrypting and the decrypting. But that certificate potentially could expire every few months or every year. So you need to keep an eye on it, because you might not realize it, but people that come into your website, they might bounce and disappear. Oh, this looks funny, because they're getting a warning from the browser. So you want to make sure that that's not the reason that they're leaving your website. Remember, lots of different course creators can use HTTPS. Doesn't matter if you're teaching how to make something or you're teaching writing skills or performing skills or audiovisual. For any of the different kinds of things that you teach, HTTPS is kind of a fundamental thing that you're going to want in your business ecosystem. Hey, let's go check out an example now. In this example, let's go over how a creative professional teacher is going to access their path form. And they're entering their credentials, then they're navigating, they're looking at their administration portal, their statistics, looking at students, transactions, looking at their premium content. In the first example, a teacher is using HTTP, which is not secure. In this case, the teacher's at home and they're using their home computer to log into their portal, and it's not secure. It's using HTTP. So they're typing their username, they're typing their password, then they're going to look at all their student emails, they're going to look at their new customers, and then they might go ahead and access their premium video content. They might download or upload new content that they don't want to give away. They want to hide it behind a paywall. Well, unfortunately, when all of this is happening on a browser with HTTP, all of that is visible. If they're at a Wi-Fi at an airport or at a cafe and somebody has access to the router, they could be logging all the little packets that go back and forth. And when they see that, they could potentially see the username and password. It's not encrypted. It's just literally what you type is a package that goes over the internet, over the Wi-Fi. So that's very risky. However, if you were at a cafe or at an airport and you were using HTTPS, so it's a secure protocol, every piece of information that goes out and back is encrypted. So when you type in your username, that's encrypted. You type in your password, that's encrypted. And when the server sends you back, hey, here are the list of new emails that signed up for your course, all of that is encrypted as well. So you're not only encrypting and sending to the server, and then the server decrypts it, and then when the server sends you back the answer, hey, here's the list of information, here's the HTML for that page. When the server sends back that information, that's also encrypted. So it's encrypted in both ways. And if anybody has access to the packets, like if they're controlling the router at a hotel or at an airport or at a cafe, or maybe it's a malicious user at an internet service provider, if they see any of the packets go back and forth, they don't understand anything. And even if they try to make attempts to figure out the algorithm and run it through some supercomputer, every message and every transaction with a different customer, each of your students or everybody on your team, each of those is using a different set of encrypted information. So even though there's one certificate, the way the algorithm is going to work is every session is going to be encrypted slightly differently. So HTTP is using plain text. All the information you type and all the information you get back is completely visible. All a bunch of data packets that are back and forth. But when you use HTTPS, everything is encrypted. It's just a bunch of hexadecimal gibberish to most people. That's also going to instill confidence in your customers are buying from you. So they know that you're secure, you're safe, and then you can help by saying you have a guarantee and you provide bonuses and all that other stuff. But showing them that you're secure, that's going to go a long way. So remember, for your websites, for your courses, for your communities, even your webinars, use HTTPS and SSL or TLS certificates. If you want to level up right now with a small action, go to your web browser and look at the certificate. So you're going to go to your web browser, you're going to go to your web page, and you're going to go look for that lock icon. Make sure it's there. Did it auto show up? Did your HTTP automatically get converted to HTTPS? And if not, check that out. And then when you are in HTTPS, do you see a nice lock icon? That helps us know that you have a SSL certificate installed and that you and your customers can be secure. So now you're a lot smarter on HTTPS. Remember, it's a protocol, so it's a language on how you go back and forth. SSL and TLS are the encryption algorithm. It's like the math formula. Behind the scenes, there's a certificate that has some random information, and that's what's used just for your website. And all three of those work together so that you can have secure information on your website, not only for you and your team as administrators, but also for your customers. To learn more, check out the info and links in the notes. If you're loving this stuff, subscribe to keep leveling up your creative business. And if you need any tech help with your courses, community, or teacher website, visit www.rtcourseexperts.com. Thanks for hanging out. Let's stay in touch.